Well, thank you very much, Carlos, and good morning to everyone. It is always wonderful to gather with the folks from Inclusiva and our colleagues from the Partnership for Inclusive Disaster Strategies to start the day hearing from the incredible leadership of Mommy. We always appreciate what she has to say. And Carlos, your continued global leadership is needed now more than ever. I'm going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about inclusive humanitarian aid and how we can continue to work together to significantly shift the way people with disabilities are included in all aspects of humanitarian action. We have a very long history of a charitable approach to addressing the needs of people with disabilities. We've worked very hard over many years to move away from a charity model in which people with disabilities are seen as the poor and unfortunate beneficiaries of the kindness of strangers. This is not only is it inaccurate, but it truly creates a dynamic in which people with disabilities, our expertise, our talents are wasted. And so, the work over the last number of years, since the Sustainable Development Goals and the work that was to be happening between 2015 and 2030, we've been trying to shift the paradigm away from one of charity to one of inclusion. And we've been sort of stuck on the notion that people with disabilities have certain human rights, and in some places, in fact, civil rights. And I think as we look both backwards and forwards, we're starting to recognize that focusing solely on rights is, in fact, keeping us from eliminating the barriers to a true equity and the kind of just world that is what we are really striving for. So when we talk about inclusive humanitarian aid, one of our biggest challenges has been to help the humanitarian actors to understand that their role is not to plan for us. Their role is not to take care of us. Their role is not to make decisions for us. Their role is to center those of us who are the most likely to be disproportionately impacted, and to make space for us to assume leadership roles. There's an American congresswoman who I really appreciate, and her name is Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. and she says it better than just about anybody. She says, the people closest to the pain should be the people closest to the power. And so as we talk about inclusive humanitarian aid, we need to make sure that the people closest to the pain, the people who are most disproportionately impacted, people with disabilities, older people, children, people who experience poverty, people, women and girls, the folks who are most disproportionately impacted are the folks for whom we need to make sure that humanitarian aid is driven by, guided by those folks most disproportionately impacted. And so the Global Alliance for Disaster Resource Acceleration and the three guiding partners, Inclusiva, the Partnership for Inclusive Disaster Strategies, and the World Institute on Disability, we have really intentionally worked to bring together corporate and foundation partners and to work together to support local disability-led organizations, disabled persons organizations, DPOs, sometimes also referred to as OPDs, organizations of persons with disabilities, or DLOs, disability-led organizations. We are working to bring together all stakeholders, not to press forward because of our rights, although we certainly don't reject those obligations. But we are working to shift that paradigm so that all who are working together are being led by people who are working to eliminate those barriers, to provide the kind of guidance, leadership, technical assistance that yields a more just approach, whether it's during disasters, whether it's as we are tackling the global challenges of climate change, whether it's in the work that we're doing in COVID and in anticipation of future pandemics, whether it's in the ongoing humanitarian needs of the 1.3 billion people with disabilities. In everything that we're doing, we are committed to bringing together the folks who have a commitment to social justice, bringing together the folks who have the resources for eliminating barriers and building forward better, and most particularly, most importantly, centering the folks who have the most knowledge, the most ability to lead change, and that is the people who are closest to the pain, being the folks who need to be closest to the power. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you, and I look forward to our continued partnership, our continued work together, and truly love and respect the leadership of Inclusiva. Thank you very much, Carlos.